We came from Africa. Why the fuck them Africans ain't never heard that story then? Till they got to America, nigga. If you an African American, what African connect with you? They don't know your ass, nigga. You ain't never been over there, nigga. They don't know you till they got over here, nigga. Nigga, if we really came from Africa, nigga, they would have hopped on them ships and came over here and got our ass a long time ago, nigga.
You smoked yourself retarded.
I don't have no disrespect or no nothing towards an African at all. For what? For what did they do? What did they do wrong? They didn't do anything to us. We're over here.
I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade.
And we've been doing that. We've been trading, with each other. I'm talking about trading with each other for years before this land was colonized. So why would I have an issue with that? This landmass is still together. 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 We could go to Africa just as well as we could go to South America.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it.
Free, real quick. As a full Nigerian.
And you're African.
And I'm West African, Nigerian, but I was born in Nebraska.
Have you ever heard any ethnic stories, like Nigerian stories, about people getting robbed by white people? Stolen and brought across to another land. Have you ever heard an oral tradition don't go out into by the river at night because you can get jumped by the white man and he'll bring you on a boat across the water?
I never heard any of that.
You remember the movie Sugar Hill?
Yep.
And there's a scene where they're doing the thing with the drug dealer, and the guy said, "We can't work with akata. We can't work with akata." That's a word that they were calling the American blacks, akata, the Nigerians. Akata is a word that they use for American blacks. And Wesley Snipes was like, "Yo, what is this akata shit you keep calling us?" And the guy goes, "We don't want to work with cotton pickers, cotton pickers, cotton pickers."
Guys, this is heavy, man. And this is what they wear on their neck. All true?
Yes.
When I was young, I used to hear stories about how foreign ships used to come down to the coast of Nigeria and take a lot of us away as slaves, like in millions, to go and work for them overseas under very inhumane conditions. Off the coast of Lagos is a place called Badagry, and this place holds a significant history in the slave trade era. Many slaves were kept, and it's also a place that tells the story of how the slave trade started. It was one of the major routes for the transatlantic slave trade.
The compound that we are is known as Brazilian Barracão. And Barracão is a Portuguese word, meaning slave cell or storehouse, where the slave were being stored. And the compound right now, we have to talk about 40 rooms in this compound.
Okay, so this is where they kept slaves?
Yes, in the olden days. And that is to say, each room contained 40 slaves. So this is called cowrisha, as you see.
Okay.
So those are the kind of currency our forefathers used then.
Yeah, this is what they used to use as the means of exchange.
Yeah, but when they came, them say they can do business with our forefathers with this kind of money. Right on the wall, these were some of the European products that were used in exchange for the slave when they arrived. Like if the European give you one umbrella, you give them 40 human beings as a slave.
Okay. Is this one of the rooms that
this is
40 people?
Yes, yeah.
40 people?
40, yeah.
Inside here?
Yeah, and we have 40 rooms in the compound.
Wow.
This one is called covering yoke. They use it to join two slaves together. They put this at the ankle or the foot.
Okay, to join two slaves together by the leg.
Now look at that small window tile. Can you see that small window there?
Yeah.
And that's what we provided the ventilation. Imagine 40 able human beings in there for 3 to 4 months.
40 human beings inside here.
Imagine the odor, the heat. Imagine how many human beings because they will have died here. That's the reason when people come there, tell them you are not here to cash fund, but just to feel the pain the people the past have felt. And those are the items that I show you on the wall. Each go for 10 slaves. These are 50 human beings. Look at your back there. This bottle, if you look closely at the body, you see 1873. Be customized on the body. That's 10 human beings standing so.
Guys, can you imagine the conditions that the slaves had to live in? 40 people in a room that is not even enough for one person. 40 people had to stay inside that room. I can't even begin to imagine.
Forgive us. Vivez-vous, I'm just begging them to forgive us because we sold them. Our forefathers sold their brothers and sisters.
For the slave trade from an unexpected place. Today, delegates from several African nations read apology letters from tribal leaders.
Well, they say they're sorry for enslaving and trading fellow Africans to nations around the world. KSHB 41 News reporter Leslie Delisbour was there and shares their message of healing.
Reaching across oceans. In song and with letters.
It is very deep and painful to even talk about it sometimes.
Remembering the dark past and the role some African chiefs played in the slave trade.
The apology of the awareness that there is a broad culture that contributed to this travesty of enslavement.
This apology is directed specifically to people of, not people of color, Black people, African people, people who have been dispersed in all parts of the world.
Delegates from African countries extending a sincere apology for the actions of their ancestors.
Some African chiefs, in violation of their sworn duty to protect the interest of the people as well as those yet unborn, and will kidnap, sell, trade, and otherwise negotiate for the transfer of their own people to foreigners.
Asking for forgiveness from their estranged African brothers and sisters.
This opportunity today gives us a chance to have the most important of conversations that must happen between our people in addressing the transatlantic slave trade that forever changed people of African descent from continent to continent.
Thinking about the past and its impact.
When you look at a Black person and you can't know where they're from, that's the heartbreak of being a Black American.
Reflecting on the future.
We have to face up to the things that we are part of and understand why it happened. Because once we can do that, then we can move forward to the next level.
So you feel like?
I wanted to go deeper with the Grand Canyon. Like beyond the parts where they stop us and say, okay, that's enough. I know they hiding this, and I know it's also spiritual stuff right there. That's an area I really wanted to thoroughly do some investigation on that particular area, but they got a lot of it blocked off.
What you think they could be hiding down there? Like,
a portal.
What do you think some of the possibilities?
A portal.
Okay.
I believe that's more than one portal. We could talk about that if you want to, but I believe that's one of them. I believe that's one of the areas where they use to go to a different area. Because I read about that before. Like there was one in Alaska that will take you somewhere in Russia. And there was one in the Grand Canyon that will take you somewhere in another part of the world. And I just wanted to get that on camera because I was reading a lot of stuff that was confirming that stuff was being there, and I just wanted to see it for myself. But they just kind of making it obvious, you know what I'm saying? Because why else would you block that?
Right.
That proves my point. You're a crazy person.